Italy, the land of pizza Vespas and ancient Rome. But behind all that beauty lies a world of strange wonders you would never expect. This is not only the country of the mighty Colosseum, Michelangelo's timeless frescoes or endless vineyards. It's also the place where you could get fined on the beach just for stepping on the sand without laying down a towel first. Here, an espresso, a drink you might think is meant to be savored, lasts only 45 seconds. You stand at the counter, take one quick sip, and walk away as if performing a sacred ritual. And this is also where thousands of locals gather in the town square, not for a parade, but to throw oranges at each other. No joke, it's a real festival, chaotic and colorful, like a battle straight out of history. That's Italy, romantic, yet bizarre, refined, yet delightfully crazy in its own way. A country where every day can turn into a story worth remembering. In this video, we're diving into 15 of the strangest and most mind-blowing facts about Italy, from one-of-a-kind beaches and food traditions, protected like cultural treasures, to the outrageous festivals you won't find anywhere else. And we'll count them down from 15 to 1 to see which one makes you say, Italy really is the strangest country in Europe. Are you ready? Then let's begin the journey right now. 15. Beaches with weird rules. Italy is famous for its turquoise coastlines where the Mediterranean hugs the land like a silk ribbon. But here's the surprise, many of its beaches aren't just stunning. They come with rules so strange they'll leave you speechless. Take La Pelosa, often called the Caribbean of Italy because the water is so clear you can see your shadow on the seabed. Yet if you want to sunbathe here, you're required to lay down a towel before touching the sand. Why Italians see every grain of sand as precious and don't want it carried away on clothes or bags. Break the rule, and you could face a fine of up to $500. Next is Budeli, home to one of the world's rare natural pink beaches. Its blush color comes from crushed microcoral built up over centuries. But you'll never be allowed to set foot on it. The government has banned entry completely. Tourists can only admire it from the water, like gazing at a treasure you can never touch. And then there's Govano, a hidden gem tucked between the cliffs of Liguria. No signs, no normal pathways. To get there, you have to crawl through an abandoned 1-kilometer-long railway tunnel, dark, cold, and eerie. Only after braving that passage does the calm blue sea open up before you, like a reward for those willing to take on the challenge. That's Italy, romantic with its sun and sea, yet full of weird rules that make you feel as if you've stepped into the pages of a surreal novel. 14. The Bizarre Festival. Ivrea's Orange Battle. Every winter, the small town of Ivrea in northern Italy transforms into a battlefield, but without swords or guns. Instead, thousands of people charge at each other, hurling ripe oranges like blazing cannonballs. The squares, streets, even balconies turn into orange trenches, as the entire city is covered in vibrant shades of yellow, orange, and red. This isn't just a spontaneous food fight. It's a centuries-old tradition that recalls the people's uprising against a local tyrant. The orange here symbolizes rebellion and the power of the community united as one. But don't worry if you'd rather stay on the sidelines. The people of Ivrea have created a clever system. Simply wear a red hat. This secret code tells everyone that you're a spectator, not a fighter, and you'll be spared from the chaotic downpour of oranges. The scene is both chaotic and spectacular, crushed fruit splattering across the cobblestones, mixed with shouting laughter and excitement. It's one of Europe's strangest yet most unforgettable festivals. 13. Tablecloths as family treasures. In many parts of the world, a tablecloth is simply there to keep things clean. But in Italy, it's a vessel of memory, a family treasure passed down through generations. Every occasion has its own cloth, a hand-embroidered piece brought out only on Christmas Eve, a green olive cloth reserved for farewell dinners, or an intricate set saved for hosting special guests. Italians believe the colors and patterns do more than decorate a table they carry. Emotions, joy, sorrow, togetherness. In regions like Umbria and Puglia, mothers pass down entire linen sets to their daughters, along with the stories woven into them. Summer feasts filled with laughter, heated family arguments, or the tender moment of reconciliation. Each stitch holds a fragment of memory. And in the town of Modica, there's even a tablecloth art festival, where locals compete in embroidery and design, turning each fabric into a canvas of storytelling. In Italy, a meal doesn't begin with wine or appetizers. It begins the moment the cloth is laid across the table, setting the tone for the entire gathering. 12. Vespa, the heart of Italy. If Paris has the Eiffel Tower, then, for Italians, the true symbol is the Vespa. Born in 1946, just after the war, the Vespa was created to bring freedom, lightness, and simple joy back into daily life. Since then, it has become more than just transportation, it's part of the nation's soul. On the cobblestone streets of Rome or Florence, the signature buzzing sound of a Vespa still echoes every morning like a familiar tune waking up the city. In Tuscany, classic Vespa parades are held every year with hundreds of hand-painted scooters rolling through vineyards like a moving celebration of memory and pride. In southern villages, many couples even skip the limousine and ride off together on a bright red Vespa white ribbons fluttering in the wind as they begin their married life. Italians have a saying, "A Vespa is like wine, the older it gets, the more precious it becomes." A Vespa never goes out of style. With age, it only gathers more memories, becoming a lifelong companion. 11. Milan's Smile Law. When people think of Milan, they imagine the fashion capital of Europe, glittering catwalks and luxury boutiques. But few know that this city once had a very unusual law: everyone in public was required to smile. Dating back to the 19th century, the rule was meant to spread optimism and strengthen community spirit. With the exception of hospitals and funerals, a smile was considered a civic duty everywhere else, from butter-scented bakeries to the crowded train stations. Today, the law is no longer enforced, but its spirit still lives on in Milan's culture. Step into a cafe, and you're greeted with a friendly barista's smile. Walk down the street, and even a stranger's smile can brighten your entire day. Milan may be a city of luxury brands and world-class fashion shows, but what truly makes it memorable is the simplest accessory of all: a smile, the timeless piece of style every Milanese carries. 10. Venice, the city without roads. While the rest of the world rushes to build highways and subways, Venice chose a different path, or more precisely, no roads at all. Instead, this city is a maze of over 150 canals and 400 bridges, where taxis, buses, and even ambulances are all boats. Here, the sound of engines isn't traffic noise, but the gentle splash of water against the hull, mixed with the rhythmic strokes of sleek black gondolas, the eternal symbol of Venice. Guided by a single oar, the gondola isn't just a means of transport. It's the soul of the city gliding across the water with the elegance of a dance. Walking through Venice feels like stepping out of the modern world. No honking cars, no pollution, only the toll of church bells, the murmur of water, and a rare tranquility in Europe. Perhaps it's this separation that makes Venice a true dream city, one everyone longs to see at least once in their life. 9. The language of hands. In Italy, communication doesn't stop at words. Italians have an entire secret language, their hands. With more than 250 recognized gestures, they can express emotions without saying a single word. Stand in the middle of a Roman piazza, and watch two men arguing, their arms flying, fingers pointing, swirling like conductors leading an invisible orchestra. Meanwhile, in Sicily, the movements are softer fingers twirling with the dramatic grace of a tango. Each region has its own accent in body language, turning every conversation into a lively performance. For Italians, hands don't just illustrate speech, they form a grammar of emotions, where every snap, shrug, or wave of the fingers carries meaning. Perhaps that's why you can't fully understand Italy through spoken words alone. You have to watch, to feel, and sometimes let yourself be swept up in the rhythm of their hands. 8. The 45-second coffee ritual. In Italy, coffee isn't just a drink, it's a daily ritual. And that ritual comes with unwritten rules only Italians seem to understand. For example, espresso is never drunk after 11 a.m. To them, it's a morning wake-up call, not something to sip all day long. The way they enjoy coffee is also entirely different. You don't sit for hours in a cafe, and you never carry a to-go cup like in the US. Italians step inside, stand at the counter, order a small un cafe. Raise the tiny cup to their lips. Take one quick sip and leave. The entire ritual lasts less than 60 seconds, fast, precise, and full of energy. There's also a beautiful tradition called caffè sospeso, the suspended coffee. Customers prepay for a cup of coffee which is later served to someone less fortunate. A quiet gesture of kindness that turns cafes into places of sharing, not just consumption. In Italy, coffee isn't something you just drink. It's something you live, brief, elegant, and warm, just like the Italian rhythm of life itself. 7. The enigmatic nightlife of Trastevere, Rome. At night is often known for its bright piazzas, but in Trastevere, an ancient neighborhood along the Tiber River, you'll discover a completely different world, quiet, mysterious, and full of surprises. Down its narrow cobblestone alleys, locals still place small candles outside their doors. Not for decoration, but as a silent invitation. Stop by, let's talk. And so friends, artists, and even strangers gather on the sidewalks, sharing bottles of wine and conversations that stretch until dawn. When the rest of the city is asleep, secret restaurants open their doors. Here, chefs recreate recipes dating back over 2,000 years to ancient Rome. A meal at 2 a.m. can feel like a time machine, bringing back flavors once served to emperors. And if you're brave enough, you can join a ghost tour around the Pantheon, where the shadows loom large and ancient Roman legends still seem to whisper through the night air. Trastevere by night isn't loud like the city's central squares. Instead, it's haunting, alluring, a different face of Rome that only night owls ever get to see. 6. Sacred food traditions. If there's any place in the world where food is treated like a religion, it's Italy. Here, meals aren't just about filling your stomach, they're protected as sacred traditions. Take Neapolitan pizza, for example, recognized by UNESCO as an intangible cultural heritage. To earn the title of authentic pizza, it must use San Marzano tomatoes grown in volcanic soil, buffalo mozzarella from Campania, and be baked in a wood-fired oven. Miss even one step, and Italians see it as an insult to their heritage. With pasta, every region has its own strict rules. In Liguria, pesto is only paired with twisted trophy pasta. In Bologna, the so-called spaghetti bolognese doesn't exist here. It's ragu alla bolognese with tagliatelle. And remember, you should never sprinkle cheese on seafood. For Italians, that's a culinary crime. But perhaps the most shocking dish is casu marzu in Sardinia, a cheese filled with live maggots. Locals see it as a delicacy, while tourists often feel both terrified and fascinated. Just one bite, and you'll understand why Italian cuisine is not only diverse, but also wonderfully strange. In Italy, every meal is a ritual, a union of tradition, flavor, and national pride. 5. Other crazy festivals. If Italy were a live opera, its festivals would be the unforgettable climaxes. Let's start with the Venice Carnival. When festival season arrives, the city fills with a sea of dazzling masks. But in Venice, masks weren't just for disguise, they were once a passport for secret love affairs. In the past, nobles could meet with commoners under the anonymity of a mask free from judgment. That feeling, romantic yet dangerous, still lingers in today's carnival nights. Then there's the Palio di Siena, one of the strangest horse races in the world. Each year, Piazza del Campo is transformed into a tight racetrack, where horses can win the race even without a jockey on their backs. Every neighborhood or contrada has its own team with unique flags, mascots, and fierce pride. What's more, many districts even have secret museums opened only during festival season, where they showcase historic banners, armor, and paintings that preserve their past glories. In Italy, festivals aren't just about entertainment. They're where history, passion, and madness blend together, creating moments so unforgettable that every traveler dreams of experiencing them at least once. 4. La Bella Figura and Italian women in Italy. There's a concept deeply woven into everyday life, La Bella Figura, the art of living beautifully. It's not just about designer clothes or runway glamour. It's present in the simplest moments. A woman in Italy might go out to buy a few tomatoes, yet she'll wear a floral dress, add a touch of red lipstick, and carry herself with the elegance of walking a catwalk. That beauty doesn't come only from appearance but from body language. When Italian women speak, their eyes, shoulders, and hands all join in the conversation. A subtle glance, a delicate shrug, or the tilt of a head carries meaning. And in the art of flirting, sometimes a single smile or the lightest touch of a hand is already a confession of love. What makes it unique is the pace. They are never in a rush. For Italian women, allure lies in mystery and challenge. They make you slow down, listen, observe, and wait. This graceful rhythm reveals that La Bella Figura isn't just a lifestyle, it's a philosophy, a kind of magic that makes Italy unforgettable. 3. How Italians travel. For Italians, travel isn't a race to tick off a checklist of landmarks. It's a slow journey of experiences. Take Cinque Terre, for example, 5 colorful seaside villages that look as if someone painted them with vivid brushstrokes and carefully placed them along the Mediterranean. Here you stroll through narrow alleys, breathing in the salty sea air mixed with the fragrance of climbing flowers on stone walls. Next is Pisa. Most tourists stop only to take the cliché holding up the Leaning Tower photo. But Italians know Pisa holds another treasure, the Orto Botanico botanical garden, founded in 1544, one of the oldest in Europe. Among birdsong and herbal scents, you realize Pisa isn't just about history. It carries the breath of centuries-old nature. And of course, there's Rome, the beating heart of Italy. At the Trevi Fountain, the sound of cascading water blends with whispered wishes as coins splash into the pool. Climb the Spanish Steps, once a gathering place for artists. And just a short walk away, you'll stand before the mighty Colosseum, where every stone still echoes with the clash of swords and the footsteps of tens of thousands of spectators 2 millennia ago. Traveling in Italy is not just about seeing, it's about touching history, art, and life breathing all around you. 2. Surprisingly affordable living costs. When people think of Italy, they often imagine Milan's luxury boutiques or Venice's grand hotels with sky-high prices. But the truth is, everyday life here is much more affordable than you'd expect. A one-bedroom apartment right in the city center costs only about $700 to $950 a month, equal to or even cheaper than rent in many major U.S. cities. Food is also far from expensive, with $300 to $400 a month. You can cook authentic Italian meals at home or sit down at a family-run trattoria for a hearty lunch that costs just $12. Public transportation is efficient and budget-friendly. A monthly bus or tram pass is only $40 to $50, taking you everywhere without worrying about traffic or gas. Add it all up, and with just $1,300 to $1,600 per month, you can live comfortably in Italy, morning coffee, in a cafe dinner under olive trees, evening strolls through lively piazzas. Clearly, Italy is not as expensive as people assume. It's a place where you can live the European dream at a very reasonable cost. 1. A meal equals a ritual. In Italy, a meal has never been just about filling your stomach. It is a ritual where every dish follows its own rules tied to its region and tradition. Neapolitan pizza must be baked in a wood-fired oven. Pesto is only paired with twisted trophy pasta, and ragu alla bolognese is never served with spaghetti. Get one detail wrong, and Italians feel you've lost the very soul of the dish. Food here isn't about random creativity. It's about respecting the roots, the region, the family, the history. At an Italian table, every tablecloth, every bottle of wine, every plate of pasta tells a story. A story of a mother passing down recipes, of a village preserving its flavors, of a community's pride. Italians hold a beautiful philosophy. Food in Italy is not eaten, it is lived. Food here doesn't just pass through the stomach. It passes through the heart, through memory, and becomes part of life itself. That's why when you leave Italy, what you remember most might not be the mighty Colosseum or the canals of Venice, but the taste of a simple meal, experienced fully as a sacred ritual. In the end, Italy is not only the land of art and romance, it's also a place that is both enchanting and bizarre. Here, everything from beaches, Vespas, morning coffee to wild festivals comes with its own set of rules, sometimes amusing, sometimes astonishing. It's this strange combination that makes Italy truly one of a kind, beautiful, like a painting rich in tradition, yet always full of surprises and challenges. This is a land where even the smallest experience can turn into a memory you'll carry for a lifetime. So out of these 15 strange things, which one would you love to experience the most? Drop your number in the comments below, and who knows, your story might inspire someone else to begin their own Italian journey. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell, because there are still countless European secrets waiting to amaze you. This is only the beginning of our adventure, and maybe the next destination will be where you find your very own Italy.